Monica leaves Ronnie her house in her will. Tracy and the Quartermaines are left stunned when Monica's will is read. Monday, October 6, 2025. Today on General Hospital, Drew learns he was cut out of Monica's will, Portia becomes dizzy while at work, and Curtis gets news that a suspect in Drew's shooting could be arrested soon. At the hospital, Portia discusses a lag in processing data the other day with Liz, which happened to be Britt's first day back. Isaiah checks Drew's vitals, and the congressman notes that Isaiah is in a mood and wonders what he ever did to him. Isaiah doesn't like that Drew got Stella in trouble. Drew claims he didn't get Stella fired, but he did help her get her job back, and not everything Curtis says about him is true. Drew says Curtis has become a vindictive, volatile, and cruel man, which he must see given that Isaiah works with Portia. He warns Isaiah not to get sucked into Curtis' twisted vendetta against him. Isaiah says he's got it, and he'll let his therapist know he's cleared for PT. Isaiah goes to see Portia in her office and is ready to give them a shot. Portia is glad, but insists that right now, she's not looking to get into another serious relationship. He is fine with that, and he also has no problems keeping this thing between them a secret. He takes her hand and offers to make her dinner at his cabin this Friday, and she accepts. Jason questions Britt about Nathan. Above Bobby's, Britt returns to her room, having just showered, and finds Jason there. She asks what he's doing, accuses him of snooping through her things, and pushes him out. Jason refuses to leave, and Britt lets him back in after she dresses and asks for his key. He explains that he only came to pack the rest of his things, and he knocked before entering. Jason asks how she's doing, given that Nathan is back, and why, according to Spinelli, she didn't want James to see his dad. Britt claims she feared it would be overwhelming for both Nathan and James, especially the boy who has never met his dad. Jason understands she was looking out for James, and says she's a good person and should stop selling herself short. Britt asks Jason about Monica's service, and he tells her it was nice, aside from Drew's brief appearance. He actually has to go to the house as Monica's will is being read, and he'll drop by later to get the rest of his things. Jack's got Carly's back. Down in the restaurant, Carly and Jack have breakfast together. Carly apologizes for canceling on him last night, explaining Anna had more questions about the night Drew was shot. Carly can't shake the feeling that she said something she shouldn't have to the cop. Jack reminds her that he's her alibi, even though she wasn't with him the entire night, but he won't let anything happen to her. Carly assures him that she didn't shoot Drew, as she has too much to lose in going after the guy, which includes Jack. She feels he is someone she can trust and rely on, no matter what. Suddenly, Joss walks in, and Carly gives her daughter a big hug. Carly tells her to sit, and she'll go put a food order in for her. They all sit down, and Joss makes up a story about what she's been up to in Australia. Carly excuses herself to take a call from the Metro Court, and Joss assumes her mother knows nothing about Croatia. Jack confirms that. The new BWSB agent worries Britt could out her as she's a loose cannon, and Jason won't be able to keep this from her mother forever. Jack says he'll handle Jason. When Carly returns, Jack heads out to get to a meeting. Joss chats with her mom about what happened when she was gone, when suddenly Britt appears and tells Joss, "How lovely to see you again." What news does Martin have for Tracy? Tracy meets with Martin outside of Bobby's, wondering what this is about. Martin informs her that Drew is bringing assault charges against her for manhandling him and throwing him out of the church the other day. Tracy laughs, calls his lawsuit frivolous, and one that will be tossed out. Martin is willing to drop it for an apology, but Tracy says she'll see them in court. She storms off. What does Alexis tell Curtis? Curtis stops by Alexis' house, having received her message that there's new intel on Drew's shooting. Alexis believes the police are close to making an arrest, which she is guessing, given that her interview with Anna was cancelled and not rescheduled. This also suggests they have new evidence pointing to someone else. She advises that if he feels the police might suspect him, he needs to get his ducks in a row. Later, Curtis meets his dad outside of Bobby's and lets Marshall know what Alexis told him. He fears the PCPD may have found the blackmail material on Portia, so they could be in trouble. Curtis insists he didn't shoot Drew, but he doesn't know if Portia even has an alibi. Marshall points out that if Portia hasn't been questioned, maybe the cops didn't find the proof. Curtis wonders why not, and where it is. Curtis decides to go see Drew and try to trick him into revealing if he's lost his power over him and Portia. Martin visits Drew and tells him that Tracy showed no remorse for what happened at the church, and she had to get to the reading of Monica's will. Drew needs to get down there, refusing to let his family cut him out again, but Martin informs him that he's not in Monica's will. How would Martin know this? Will? At the Courtemain estate, Ned and Olivia are preparing to host the reading of Monica's will. Michael and Brooke Lynn appear, and Olivia hopes that once Michael owns the house, they could finally get a pizza oven, especially with Thanksgiving coming up. Michael approves her request. Finally, someone in this family is thinking ahead. The doorbell rings, Ned goes to answer it, and meets Ronnie, who explains is here for the reading of Monica's will. Ned brings Ronnie into the living room and introduces her to the rest of the family as Monica's sister. They are thrown as Monica never mentioned her. Ronnie tells them that she came by yesterday to pay her respects and was asked to leave the property by Tracy. She's only here now as someone from Miller and Davis called her about the will. Michael asks Ronnie to tell them about herself. Ronnie tells them all how she and Monica were separated at a young age by the foster system. After a falling out, they lost touch and only reconnected in the past year when Monica wrote her a letter. She says they corresponded back and forth until Monica passed. While they know nothing about her, she says Monica told her all about them. She then reveals a bit about what Monica said about each of them, which moves them to tears. Tracy soon arrives to find her family and Ronnie laughing and having a good time, and yells that she made it clear to Ronnie that she isn't welcome here. Olivia explains that Ronnie is supposed to be here as she was contacted about the will. Alexis arrives and confirms that Ronnie was invited to the reading of the will, which she is prepared to go over as Monica's lawyer. Monica established trust funds for all her grandchildren. To Brooke Lynn, she left her pearl necklace. To Ned, she left her classic record collection, and she left her collection of cookware to Olivia. To Ronnie, she leaves one of her most cherished possessions. It's a locket with a photo of them as kids, which moves Ronnie to tears. To Tracy, Monica left a special gift, a box, which Tracy opens and yells, "What the hell is this?" Tracy finds a jar of Lila's relish inside. She notes that when her father died, he cut her out of the will and only left her a jar of relish. Tracy yells that Monica knew how much that hurt her, so is this a joke? Jason then arrives, right on time, to learn what he was left, and that's Alan's favorite watch, which originally belonged to Edward. In the show's final moments, Curtis arrives at the hospital to see Drew, but before he can visit his former friend, Isaiah stops him as they have to get some things straight. At Bobby's, Joss pretends, and pretty poorly, to be surprised that Britt's alive. Britt knows this must be a shock. Carly reminds Britt it's the first of the month, so rent is due. Britt says Jason is covering it. Carly refuses to let him and wants Britt to pay up what she owes by midnight. Britt snarks, "Perhaps we should talk about what you owe me?" Back at GH, Liz reports to Portia on the whole of Britt's first day fiasco. Portia suddenly becomes lightheaded and dizzy, and Liz thinks she should sit down. The doctor does, and she appears troubled by how she's feeling. In his room, Drew vents to Martin that knowing Monica cut him out of her will is liberating. Now he has nothing to gain or lose when it comes to the Courtemains. Finally, Alexis says that Monica has left her cars, horses, and the family yacht to Michael. The rest of her estate, including her house, goes to Ronnie. Everyone is stunned, including Ronnie.